Well, Marvel fans are in for a real treat with so much content planned for this year, all the way through 2023. And with the Celebrating the Movies trailer we got a little while ago, we got a glimpse at what projects Marvel Studios are cooking up. There aren't a lot of concrete details when it comes to Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four, so we thought it would be a fun idea to dive into some theories. Throughout the video today, we're going to be taking a closer look at some ideas on how the team could be introduced, when they could be making their debut, and how one character could change the way we watch Marvel content. But first, let's dive into the main course with this one. Of course, we are talking about the main Fantastic Four team themselves, specifically their super stretchy leader. Throughout the MCU, we have had subtle drops hinting at characters that eventually got their debut not too long after. Of course, one of the more famous ones is in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, where undercover Hydra member Agent Sitwell mentions the master of the mystic arts himself, Dr. Stephen Strange. It was only 2 years later where the character received his own movie. Subtle hints like that oftentimes mean something bigger is afoot. Some believe that WandaVision may have hinted at the existence of Reed Richards. In the 5th episode of the show, Monica Rambeau is planning with her team to find a way to get into Scarlet Witch's Westview Hex. While coming up with the plan, she goes on to say that she knows an aerospace engineer that would be up for a challenge like this. And while this line goes by in what seems like the blink of an eye, many began speculating on who this engineer could be. Of course, some thought she was referring to James Rhodes' War Machine, but many more fingers pointed towards the stretchy scientist himself and hoped that Mr. Fantastic would make a cameo appearance at some point in WandaVision. And let's not forget Paul Bettany teasing the audience, saying that a surprise cameo would shock fans of the show. The engineer is unfortunately never mentioned or seen throughout the rest of the show, but it is still a very interesting line that could set up Reed Richards' introduction into the ever-growing MCU. Also, with the upcoming Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania in 2023, who's to say that Hank Pym won't call in the Fantastic Four as a means of figuring out how the mysterious quantum realm works? The team has some understanding of the subject and could even shine a brighter light on the theory some had about WandaVision. Another small one, but hey, never say never. So while there aren't too many hints in the films that the Fantastic Four are on the way, a comic arc in the Marvel Universe could potentially bring the team into the cinematic universe. Secret Invasion was introduced back in April of 2008 and ran through December of that same year. The premise involved an invasion of shape-shifting Skrulls who assumed the roles of heroes we know and love. The comic arc will be receiving a Disney Plus series as announced back in December 2020. And while a release date for the show has not been announced, the series could give us the first glimpse at the Fantastic Four. The reason for this is because in the comic series following the Kree Skull War, which we actually got glimpses of in 2019's Captain Marvel, a group called the Illuminati is formed. The group consisted of champions of the Marvel Comics, including Iron Man, Charles Xavier, Namor, and even Reed Richards himself. The group sought to confront the Skrulls and essentially were tasked with warning them that an invasion of Earth would result in further consequences. Now, some of you may be wondering, would it be sort of an odd thing to introduce Mr. Fantastic as a part of this group in the upcoming series? It wouldn't be unheard of. As an example, we got our introduction to Tom Holland's Spider-Man, one of the biggest names in Marvel, right in the middle of Captain America: Civil War. The MCU is known for mentioning or introducing characters without a full-on movie, such as Hawkeye and Thor, Black Widow and Iron Man 2, and even Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in a post-credit scene in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So could Reed Richards be introduced in this way as Secret Invasion comes closer and closer? It would definitely be a cool and ominous way to give his character a dramatic entrance, and I have a feeling that he and his team are going to be a huge part of the MCU as we move forward. The Fantastic Four ensemble is definitely iconic, and the team's arch nemesis, Victor Von Doom or Doctor Doom, is no exception. And like other movies have shown us, villains are just as important to the overall MCU storyline as the heroes. So how could the Doc make his debut in regards to the MCU? Here's what we think. Imagine Fantastic Four releases and we get Doctor Doom. Great, everyone is happy, and that would make a lot of people happy. But, and this is just our theory, what if we get a grounded, minimalistic Victor Von Doom with the Fantastic Four film, and after we see the character reprised in a Disney Plus show following the events of the film. In this series, Victor would grapple with the loss he took thanks to the Fantastic Four and expand his horizons through mystical and cosmic measures. The series would follow his growth in power to an extreme level and end off with him promising to rid the world of superheroes like the Fantastic Four and even the Avengers. This possibility would be a welcome one, especially seeing as the only piece of content we've gotten based on a villain is the newly released Loki show. Having a show based around Doctor Doom would be an interesting way to develop this character and really keep fans guessing on how he plans to put a stop to the superheroes we know and love. This is where we could even get a scene that resembles that of the post-credit scene in 2012's Avengers, where we see Thanos, the Mad Titan, for the first time, hinting that he is coming with full force. And let's just take a moment to realize and think about how cool a final scene in that show would be, where Doctor Doom promises to rid the world of heroes. It's a cool sight to think about, and hopefully it could happen. And let's also not forget, in the comics, Doctor Doom is known for teaming up with other characters including Namor, who could be making his appearance with the upcoming Black Panther sequel, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. In our past video discussing what we know about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, we even discussed the possibility of Kang the Conqueror teaming up with Doctor Doom as well. With all that in mind, could several big bad villains even be awaiting our heroes? Only time will tell. And that is going to be it, everyone. Those are just some ways we think the Fantastic Four could get their introduction into the MCU. And while none of this is set in stone yet, wondering how they will be brought in is honestly half the fun. But we want to know what you all think. Do you all think the Fantastic Four will be introduced more recently than we think? Or will some time pass before we are even given a glimpse or even another nugget? Please let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say as always.